Now, number 10. Now, number 10 deals with something on the inside part of the car. Something that the vast majority of cars made today come with standard. And that is cup holders. Now, why would someone hate cup holders? Let me explain. Now, if you own an automatic 5th generation Camaro, this will not be an issue. But if you own a manual 5th generation Camaro like I do, this is a humongous problem. Now, I don't know who the engineer at General Motors was who thought it was a good idea to put the cup holders directly behind the gear shift. Now, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you're one of these weird human beings who has a favorite tasty drink. And you come up with this crazy idea of wanting to take that tasty drink with you when you're in your car. Now, let's say for argumentative purposes, you have a 20-ounce bottle of Dasani water like I have here. You're chugging it on whatever it is you want to chug it on. You stick it in your cup holder and then you proceed to shift gears. Therein lies the problem, because with anything bigger than, I'd say, a can in your cup holder, you are not going to properly and smoothly shift gears because you cannot properly grip the shifter to smoothly and safely shift gears. So I really don't understand what the engineers at General Motors were thinking when they designed the 5th generation Camaro. Moving along. Now, number 9 and number 8 really kind of coincide with each other, because I didn't know and I wasn't made aware of number 9's existence until I actually picked up my car into the strange act of driving it. Because there are countless, okay, there are numerous, there are excessive amounts of blind spots in this car. Now, once again, hypothetically speaking, let's say you're one of these people who needs to be able to see out in front of you, and beside you, and behind you in order to safely operate a motor vehicle. If that is you, perhaps a 5th generation Camaro is not the car for you. Now, why does number 9 coincide with number 8? Because the 8th thing that I hate about my 5th generation Camaro is this thing is a freaking behemoth. Okay, this thing is as wide as the freaking moon. And one would common sense would denote that the bigger the vehicle, the better visibility you would need in order to safely drive it. Because let's say, again, you're one of these crazy human beings who needs to make left and right hand turns, or by chance you might want to move from one lane to the other lane, or pull in and out of garages. If you at any point in time in the process of driving your car need to do that, perhaps a 5th generation Camaro is not the car for you. Because really the only safe way to operate a 5th generation Camaro is you're going to have to do an Ace Ventura. You're going to have to roll down the window, stick your head out of the car, and then and only then will you have the proper amount of visibility you need in order to safely operate a 5th generation Camaro. So again, I don't understand what the engineers at General Motors were thinking when they designed the 5th generation Camaro. Now, number 7. Now, the 7th thing that I hate about my 5th generation Camaro deals with something on the exterior part of the car. More specifically, the front bumper. More specifically than that, the fog lights. Now, these fog lights are an insult to fog lights, okay? Because if fog lights could walk, talk, and think, they would want these fog lights executed by firing squad, because their only reason for existence, their only purpose in their life is to fog the lights. And that is the one thing that these things do not do. Because you could be in the deadness and darkness of night, flip on your fog lights, and still be in the deadness and darkness of night. Because you would be better off going to Walmart, buying a couple of Zippos, taping them to the front bumper, and then driving around with them lit. Because they would provide you more visibility than the fog lights of a 5th generation Camaro. So again, I don't understand what the engineers at General Motors were thinking when they designed the 5th generation Camaro. Now, number 6. Now, number 6, once again, deals with something on the inside part of the car. Something that, once again, the vast majority of cars made today come with standard. And that is sun visors. Now, these sun visors are offensive to the senses because their only purpose in life, the only reason they exist, is to vise the sun. Now, once again, hypothetically speaking, if you're one of these crazy human beings who needs, likes, or wants to drive your car in daylight hours, more specifically when the sun's coming up or when the sun's going down, If you're one of those type of drivers, perhaps a 5th generation Camaro is not the car for you. Because I'm sure some of you watching me right now who have passed people driving a 5th generation Camaro at those point in times in the day. You've seen us doing this. And probably sat there wondering to yourself, why the heck are you doing it? Why aren't you simply using the sun visors? That's what they're meant to do. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's what they're meant to do, but that is the one thing they do not do. So again, I don't understand what the engineers at General Motors were thinking when they designed the 5th generation Camaro. Now, number 5 and number 4 coincide with each other just like number 9 and number 8. But I don't understand why number 5 even exists in my car. Because it's not only secluded to my version of Camaro, because it is evident and obvious in all versions of 5th generation Camaros. Because the number 5 thing that I hate about my 5th generation Camaro, this car is the understeer king, which confuses the hell out of me because we have a front engine rear-wheel drive car, which common sense would denote we should be having oversteer, but no, no, that's too easy. That's too simple. That's too expected. Why would General Motors in all their intelligence and wisdom actually give us a car that we would expect? Because according to my sources inside General Motors, when they were designing and developing the 5th generation Camaro, there was this one crazy engineer who stood up in the room and said, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? Let's give the 5th generation Camaro cup holders that don't obstruct the ability to shift gears. Let's give this car a good amount of visibility and keep it as short and concise as possible. Give it fog lights that actually work, sun visors that actually vise the sun, and a good, fun amount of oversteer. Now, apparently that engineer now sits on death row. And why does number 5 coincide with number 4? Because the 4th thing that I hate about my 5th generation Camaro is this thing is an obese, overweight pig. And how do I know I'm right? Now that we have the 6th generation Camaro out, when General Motors was promoting the new 6th generation Camaro, what was the one thing they were really pressing on? Oh, you know what? The new 6th generation Camaro is about 400 pounds lighter. It makes the car an entirely different animal. Oh, it handles better. It accelerates quicker. It's better than a Mustang. Because they realized that they built an overweight, obese pig. So again, I don't understand what the engineers at General Motors were thinking when they designed the 5th generation Camaro. Now, number 3. Now, the 3rd thing that I hate about my 5th generation Camaro, because when I first got my car, a couple of months after that, I did a review that I posted on my channel about this car. And I had to emphasize that if you are not in the proper gear, at the proper speed, and at the proper moment, there is absolutely zero, meaning non-existent amount of torque in this car. Because driving my car in the few crazy times that I've actually driven it, I realized that you have to be shifting at dang near 4,500, 4,700 RPM in order to get what little torque this car has out of it. Now, when I use my car just to have some fun or just as a daily driver, I normally shift at 2,500, maybe 2,700 RPM. So I never experience any kind of torque whatsoever when I drive my car, unless I'm doing something illegal or something that I know deep down I should not be doing. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't understand what the engineers at General Motors were thinking when they designed the 5th generation Camaro. Now, the number 2 thing I hate about my 5th generation Camaro are the pedals. Now, these pedals are offensive to the senses. Okay, they are an insult to the definition of a pedal because they are so light. They're so fluffy, they're so easy that I cannot literally, okay, I'm not speaking figuratively or imaginary, I'm talking literally. I literally cannot drive my car with shoes on because there is absolutely no feel in these pedals because you can literally, okay, I'm not speaking figuratively, I'm not speaking imaginary. I can literally blow on these pedals and they will go to the floor. But the thing that irks me the most is the clutch. Now, this clutch is the worst clutch in the history of clutches. If clutches could walk, talk, and think, they would want this clutch executed by firing squad. Because maybe my fellow manual drivers will agree with this statement. One might assume that the bite point in a clutch might be somewhere in the middle. Maybe somewhere towards the bottom, or maybe somewhere close to the top. But that's too easy. That's too simple. That's too expected. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a 5th generation Camaro here. Nothing's easy. Nothing's simple. Every freaking thing is complicated because the bite point in the clutch of a 5th generation Camaro is 1/8 of a millimeter before you're completely off the clutch, which means it is routinely and effortlessly easy to kill this car habitually. And I'm starting to understand why these cars come with hill assist. Because if you were on a hill in a 5th generation Camaro without hill assist, one of two things would either have to happen. One, you would burn out your clutch trying to get up the hill, or you would have to sit there waiting for traffic to bypass you so you can slowly roll back down the hill so you can start on flat ground and then roll your way up to the top. So once a freaking again, I don't understand what the engineers at General Motors were thinking when they designed the 5th generation Camaro. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We've made it to the top spot. We began at number 10, now we're down to number 1. Numero uno. No dos, no tres, no cuatro. Uno. And I am sure each and every one of you right now are on the edges of your seats, dying with anticipation, waiting for me to reveal the number one thing I hate about my 5th generation Camaro. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer, because the number one thing that I hate about my 5th generation Camaro is the way this car routinely, endlessly, habitually, repetitively, bullyingly, okay, there's enough leads, makes me spend every dollar I make into modding it. Now, hold on. Before you change the channel, before you look at me like I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. Now, I'm sure anybody who is a car junkie like me will say that the best part of owning an iconic car is molding it and shaping it into your own vision to make it be the car that you want it to be. And I totally agree with that. But the best part of owning an iconic car is also the worst part of owning an iconic car. Now, let me explain. I got my car the day after Thanksgiving in 2014. A few months after that, I changed the spoiler, $120. A few months after that, I got the OEM transformer emblems, $250. A few months after that, I dipped the rims, $120. A few months after that, I got the ZL1 rockers, $546. A few months after that, I wrapped the hood, $120. A month after that, I got a cold air intake, $333. And only in this past December, I got the front splitter installed on my car, $420. So now do you start to see what I mean when I say how this car routinely, effortlessly, habitually, repetitively makes me spend every dollar I make into modding it? Now let me further make my point by saying this. If you are a car junkie like me, you will understand what I'm about to say. I don't know how many Camaro forums I'm a part of on the net. I don't know how many Camaro social groups I'm a part of. I don't even know how many Camaro groups I'm a part of here in the city of Atlanta. Because let's be real, if you are a car junkie like me, you like going to car shows, you like going to car gatherings, you like going where people and cars come together. Now, when that happens, what is always the first thing to happen? You're going to see people with different inspirations and different things that they've done to your car or done to their car. And what's that going to make you do? It's going to make you think, which is going to lead to you doing some research, which is then going to lead you to do some calculations, which is then going to lead you to your bank account and emptying the sucker out. Now, let me make my point by closing out by saying this. The person who installed my splitter and my rockers is a fellow Camaro owner here in the city of Atlanta. And I have to admit, he owns a pretty badass ZL1. Now, in December when I got my splitter installed, we went up to the spot to get the stuff installed, but he didn't have the tools. So we hop in the ZL1 and go to Home Depot or Lowe's or some kind of hardware store. And on the way there and back, he's talking about like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get this $2,500 carbon kit for my car. And you know, I got this night owl system that I can flicker this and strobe that and turn on this and do a bunch of other crazy crap with it, right? So we get back to the spot, he whips out the cell phone and just starts going to town. Meanwhile, his car is lighting up like a freaking Christmas tree. And I'm in the middle of the street in the deadness of night like, I like that. I want that. How much is that? Couple days later, $900. So now I have to spend $900 for a lighting system that I didn't even think about or even assuming to buy until I saw somebody else had it. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not done there because it's tax season now. And what always happens during tax season? Well, most of the time, you get some money back. And again, if you're a car junkie like I am, where's that money going? So let me further explain. Get the tax return. Complete suspension upgrade for my car. $1,800. New rims and tires. A total of $3,125.46. A new ZL1 diffuser. $520. Quad tip exhaust and a new exhaust system. $720. $1,200 totally installed. So now, ladies and gentlemen, do you see what I mean when I say that the number one thing I hate about my 5th generation Camaro is the way this thing makes me spend all the money I have into modding it. Now, apparently at the end of these videos, we are supposed to nominate and request other people to I guess, carry the torch on. I will just say this, if you're watching me right now, you have a camera and a YouTube channel and a car, go ahead and do one. I like to check them out. Leave some comments in the comment section. Let me know what car you drive. Let me know about the cars that you like. Let me know about the things about your car that you don't like. Because that's what Me and Mine TV is about. It's about the fans interacting with the fans, talking about cars. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more motoring madness and check us out with our new videos.